Hey, it's Irina Pozan, and welcome back to the Career Cravings Podcast. This podcast has a simple mission. It's to help ambitious professionals like you build the career and life that you've been craving. Over the past 15 years, I've worked as an HR leader, designed hiring systems, led recruitment teams, and I've sat on the other side of the hiring table. I've seen what works in today's job market, what doesn't, and what separates those good candidates from the ones that actually land their dream roles. Now I'm bringing everything I've learned straight to you. Each episode is packed with actionable insights and tools to help you land your dream role sooner. Now let's dive in. Welcome back to Career Cravings, the show that gives you real strategies to land your next role faster with confidence, clarity, and momentum. So today I want to talk about something that people do not say enough, which is you can land multiple job offers right now. Yes, even in this market. Yes, even if you've been stuck for months. And yes, even if you feel like you have tried everything. Because I know you've probably been told to wait it out or to keep applying, and you keep doing that. But the truth is, if you've been applying for months, something isn't clicking, and we're going to be talking about that today because there are people landing offers and multiple offers every single day. And not because they're lucky, not because they're more qualified, but they know what is working in today's market, and they finally stopped guessing and trying and using something that works. And that's what we're diving into. Okay, so the first thing that I want to clear up, which is something I hear in my DMs every single day, which is, oh, the job market's really bad right now. Yes, it is more challenging than it has been before, but guess what? It's just different than what you're used to, and most people haven't caught up. So while you keep applying and applying, there is someone landing job offers, and often multiple job offers, because they know exactly how to apply in this market. They do not have better credentials. They do not have a better approach, but my clients are sending out less resumes and landing multiple offers. So I want to demystify what is really happening here. So if you're today relying on a strategy that used to work before 2019, I'm just going to keep it real with you. It is not going to work today. People that are landing multiple offers are using a modern, proven strategy, which works. So let me know if this has been you. Okay. So maybe you are in this trap of thinking, okay, if I just apply more consistently, I haven't been consistent enough. Maybe if I just apply more, then eventually I'll get an offer. Maybe I don't need to apply to 100 roles. Maybe I need to apply to 1,000 roles, 500 roles, 300 roles, whatever number that is for you. Let me know if you've caught yourself thinking that. Or maybe you've thought, you know what? I really haven't had enough time. I know it hasn't worked in the last 3 months, but maybe a magical offer will just appear in the next 3 months, right? And I want to be real with you. Time does not fix a strategy that doesn't work. More time is going to give you the same results. If trying harder worked, you'd already be hired, right? You've already tried. I know if you're here, you've already tried ChatGPT for your resume. You have already asked a friend. You've already had recruiters look at it. You have already applied. And if something's not clicking, then let's talk about what will. Every single day, I speak to people in my DMs where they reach out, they're feeling stuck, and maybe this has been you before, and they are doing all of the right things. They're like, Irina, I know I'm doing all the right things. I've rewrote my resume 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I am applying regularly. I'm messaging recruiters. They're not responding. I hit easy apply over and over. I fill out the long applications over and over, but they're still stuck. And I'm breaking this down because it's not a lack of effort. The problem is direction. The problem is the wrong strategy. So here is what you actually need. You need a strategy that works in today's market because today's market is different. You need messaging that lands with recruiters so they actually want to call you back and think of you as a top candidate. You need positioning to make you the obvious hire. So these are not those basic tips that you probably have already applied, like putting more numbers in your resume. I had someone reach out recently and she sent me a copy of her resume, which PS, my resume transformation is so much deeper than that. I'd need to know the individual to really give great advice that will change things around. But she's like, maybe it's my summary. And I'm like, no, girl, it's not your summary. Right now, I want you to be listening to this with a mindset of possibility. What is possible for you in today's job market? So I want to make it real for you, which means I'm going to be sharing real client results so that you can really see and really envision what I'm talking about. So these are my real clients. I cut out little snippets of what is possible, and I want to break these down so you know exactly what worked for them so that you can do the same thing.
Just want to thank you. I didn't think that I can get to offer, less than 3 months. It gave me a confidence to apply for many jobs, and to the jobs that I can't believe I can get them. They gave me the manager position.
Okay, I want to pause it there. So that was my client, Simane. She had tried everything. She had applied to hundreds and hundreds of roles, and she didn't have leadership experience from Canada. She had experience from back home. And she came to me and she's like, you know what? Nothing's working. And she might have felt the way you feel right now, where it's just like such a difficult job market. You can't possibly land the role you want or get multiple offers. So what happened was within 2 months, she got an HR manager offer. But what was really interesting was she got multiple offers within 3 months. And in that, if it wasn't clear, the audio, you can also listen to it on my website. But what she said is, I cannot believe they gave me the HR manager position because again, she didn't have that experience before. So while many people are struggling getting any job that might even be below their skill set, she leveled up and got a more senior role, a better paying role, a more interesting role, a more fulfilling role. In under 3 months, she had multiple offers in this market.
And, I just want to say thank you. It's all about you. And thank you so much.
Okay, so the next one I want to break down is from my client, Ayushi. She was applying from a brand new place in the world. She got 2 offers within 1 month and a salary she never even dreamed of. And she PS, I know so many of you you're not taking my advice. You're still changing your resume for each and every role you apply to. You never have to do that with a proven resume that actually gets people calling you back. But here's what she said.
I really wanted to tell you that I honestly started applying from my changed resume for a month. You see on LinkedIn that your application was viewed, got 1 offer, and I've just given my final round, another one for another interview yesterday. I just wanted to tell everybody that it's working. Like, I was not changing my resume for every job, like how they say. It was like one resume that I made with you. That one resume, I was applying with that, and I've got both my offer from there. And I was not expecting the salary.
Okay. What you heard there was she was not expecting that salary in this market. She was not expecting multiple job offers. She was never expecting that after months of struggling, changing her strategy would lead to 2 offers. And that's really the possibility that I want to open your eyes to today, because it is not that these people got more qualified. That is not what I worked on with them. Right? They didn't go back to school and get more education. They didn't go get some certification, which PS doesn't get you hired. It helps. It's nice. I love certifications, but they will never get you hired. But they changed their strategy, and I'm going to break down how. But it does take a new and proven approach, and that's exactly what I do with my clients. So let's dive into the next one, Sadhana. The craziest thing happened. So after 1 year, she was applying for 12 months. And when we first met, first one-on-one, I was concerned. That is a very long time without any interviews. So we changed things up really fast. And guess what happened? Within 24 hours, she started landing interviews within 24 hours. And this is a common phenomenon. Again, she did not change her credentials, who she was. She used a proven approach that she hasn't used before. And guess what? It worked. So within 2 months, she landed an offer as well that she was so thrilled about. So listen to this.
With the resume transformation.
So it's like applying for almost a year.
Yes.
And then you join like your start. And I remember specifically you emailing like within 24 hours, I think you had multiple
I had
interview requests after a year, which is so exciting.
I wouldn't be where I am today.
Said Hannah actually landed 3 interviews within 24 hours of applying. After a year of silence, 0 interviews, and landed a role within 2 months. I could keep going. Let's just do one more, just because I do not want you to walk away from this episode still thinking you need to go back and do the same thing and change your resume again. And I do not want you to leave this episode thinking it's just a bad market. No one's getting hired. It should take a long time. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, because doing more of what you're doing is just going to lead you to the same thing that's already happened, which led you here. I love this one. Upsana, you may have heard if you follow me on social media. I loved her story. She ended up getting multiple offers. One was like a 34% increase, which you'll hear about in this video. Another one was like a 37% increase. But the coolest part is she was completely unemployed. So that increase that we're talking about was from her last role. So she went from like 0 to earning back like literally almost 100K super quickly when she started working. And both offers were phenomenal, as you can tell. And again, I just want to drive this point home. We didn't change anything about her profile. She's the same person. She just interviews very differently, and her resume is very different. It is very strategic and based on value, which we're going to get into in this episode as well. So last one, listen to this.
Actually, if I hadn't joined this mentoring session, and Irina, your support wouldn't have been there.
Okay, that one ended quickly, but I hope you know that there is a whole world of possibility. And if you're struggling right now, it doesn't have to be the case. Let's dive into how to change that. What I want to walk you through is the framework that works every single time. So let's break down what they did differently, because you heard stories of people not getting an interview for a year and then landing 3 interviews in 24 hours with changing this. And what does that really look like? What does it mean? So let's break down what they did differently, because you can do this as well. So messaging. When you think about yourself as a candidate, you need to think about what is going to land with the audience. And this is something that's often really difficult to do for yourself, because you know your experience so closely and so well. And it is so easy for someone else to look at you and know what makes you stand out as a candidate for the type of role that you're going for. The first part is, before you even start mucking with your resume template, actually think about what messaging is going to land with your audience, being the recruiter for the type of role you're going for at that company, or what messaging is going to land with the hiring manager. How can you communicate that you can do the job super, super well, and they should be super excited to meet with you? Okay, so messaging that lands. That is the first and foremost place to start. And this is always where I start with my clients. I always start with like a full breakdown of what they've done. I ask a ton of questions. I understand what sets them apart. From there, then we create that resume that gets the incredible results that you've just heard about. So messaging that lands. Then next, a magnetic pitch. I know you've probably listened to my pitch episode. If not, you can go back after this, and I have a whole episode on how to create a pitch. But I write pitches for all of my clients for a very specific reason. And this changes the game. Many people are like, yep, I took your tips. I think I did it. But then what ends up happening is when they answer that tell me about you question, or after the phone screen, they often don't move to the next interview at least 80% of the time, which is the metric that I look for. So next, when you think about your messaging, it's like, how can you attract and pull in your audience in that first interview? How can you introduce yourself in a way that is so clear that you are the best candidate for the role, without having a different profile, without having more experience, without having a different experience, without any of the stuff you're probably worried about? How do you do that? So that's the second thing. The third thing is a resume transformation that is based on this messaging, the strategic messaging that we've been talking about, and your impact. And then the very last part is the interview confidence. You can have the best resume in the world. And if it communicates that you're the best candidate and you land those interviews, amazing. And then if you have a good pitch, then you'll move on to, further in the interview process. Amazing. But the goal is always to get the offer. And the reason why you heard these individuals got offers so quickly, all of them in under from 30, 60 to 90 days in a job market that takes 9 months, is because they had all of these steps figured out. When you have messaging that lands with your audience, it's going to translate from your resume to your pitch to your interviews. And then you're going to have that interview confidence because you know what sets you apart. You know how to communicate that. So you walk in the room like you own it, which also moves the interview process along. And that is the biggest thing that leads to multiple offers. Okay. It's not the profile. It's not the education. I've literally had clients that have had PhDs that aren't able to land any interviews. And it's because it's not based on education. It is based on that interview confidence, how you tell your story, how you connect to your audience of who you're speaking to in a way that really translates into, oh, wow, this person really can do the job. And the people that often go on many interviews and don't walk away with offers, it's because that interview messaging is missing. I heard someone in my DMs recently as well just tell me, listen, I use the STAR method. I know I can communicate well in an interview, but I went on 10 interviews and didn't get an offer. Okay. The data is telling you something different. It's not about using the STAR method. It's about the strategy of how you connect your story to the audience and how that lands with them. It is a totally different ballgame. When that is done properly, clients get multiple offers. They get hired quickly in any market because they are a sought after candidate, not because of their education or experience or how many things they've done, but how they communicate that in a very short amount of time. So that strategy of messaging that lands, that magnetic pitch that falls from the messaging of what sets you apart, then goes into your resume transformation. See how the resume doesn't come first? It comes after in a strategic way. And then you have that interview confidence. Then guess what? You will have the foundation of landing not only one offer quickly, but the possibility of getting multiple offers. And that's exactly what I build inside of my proven method. So those are the 4 areas that we focus on, which is why my clients don't just get a job. They have options. They land dream jobs. They have the power to choose. And it's based on this method. I will leave you with this. You do not need more time. You do not need more education. You do not need more applications. You do not need to go back and rewrite your resume template so it's more ATS friendly. What you do need is to have a strategic approach about what will stand out to your audience and then apply that to your resume, your pitch, and your interviews. And that is going to be the strategy that is designed for this job market and not the one from 3 years ago. The market is not dead. You just heard proof of this with so many clients that literally had very little experience and moved countries. They had so much that was not in their corner. But once the strategy was applied, it works. It works every time, which is why I guarantee results in my programs. So the market isn't dead. It's just dead for people that are not using this strategy. So ask yourself today, is your method currently working? Look at what's happened over the last 3 months and evaluate how many interviews did you get? How many offers did you get? And if within that 3-month period that isn't happening for you, you need to reevaluate because I do not want you to be in this spot where in 6 months from now, you're still looking like many people in today's job market. And once you stop guessing and you start using what actually works, everything changes. If you're tired of spinning your wheels, you want to land multiple offers, not in 6 months from now, but in the next 60 days, here's what to do next. There are 2 things that I recommend. 1, literally right now, open your phone, go on LinkedIn, find me, Irina Pozan, and DM me the word strategy. And I'd be happy to help you fix your strategy and provide you with options on how you could do what you heard about today in this episode. Second option is in the show notes of this episode, you will find my free resume guide. I had just revamped it. It is brand new. I am officially fully relaunching it now, and the link is in the show notes. You could get it here first, download it, and really think about your resume in a strategic way and not just about which numbers can you add. Oh, you've probably done that all before, and that's why you're here today, right? Also, if you are loving this episode, I also want you to share it with someone who also may be stuck. Maybe you have a friend who's also been searching for their next role. They're not sure where to go next. You never know who needs to hear this. So if you can think of someone that needs to hear today's little tough love message, please send this their way as well. And I will see you in next week's episode. Hey, before you go, if you've enjoyed listening to today's show, I would love your support. Please take a moment to leave a review anywhere where you listen to podcasts. And here's the exciting part. I'm running a special contest and giving away a one-on-one session with yours truly. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and send it to me in my DMs. All of my contact info is in the show notes. I appreciate you so much, and I cannot wait to build the career and life that you've been craving together. See you next week.